Hello, everybody. Welcome to In the Pit with MISFIT. This is a new podcast. Not that we need any more of those in the world, but just talking about small artists and the music industry and kind of getting into it and the realities and the ups and downs of it from a small stage.
The trials and tribulations.
The trials and tribulations. All right. I have a little intro for you, if you'll so indulge me. All right, I had to write it down because I don't have that good a memory, as we know from when I play. All right, today's guest has been playing music and breaking hearts for years, performing from a young age in musicals to playing pop punk to writing catchy bangers. He is If Bring Me the Horizon, My Chemical Romance, and the musical Rent had a baby. He has been dubbed the emo wonder kid by BBC Introducing, and he is my best friend, my brother, and musical lover. It's Teddy Bear! Hey! Thank you. I was sat writing that in my car, and I voice to noted it on my phone. Literally, just before we went to record this, I went, I've got this intro for you, dude. Oh, wait, we're using my phone to record the video, so I had to scribble it down in a pad. But yeah, no, thank you for being my first guest.
Thank you for having me.
I know, it's I've been meaning to do this for I don't know how long I've been speaking about doing it.
Year and a half, maybe?
Yeah, a year and a half. So
when did you buy the mic?
Well, I bought the mic about a year and a half ago. So yeah, we've got the full wanky podcast microphones and everything.
I owned mine before, to be fair.
Yeah, you owned yours before, and then I found mine on Facebook Marketplace for about 180 quid.
Yeah, you did get a good bargain.
So I was like, well, I'll buy it just because for when I record stuff anyway, and it's an excuse to be white men doing a podcast. Not every podcast is going to have these mics because obviously I only have one. So when I get, this is yours. When I get another guest, I'm just going to have to we'll be in handheld 58. Nardwuar style. Do. So I have a couple of things I wanted to speak about. Obviously, we're going to discuss about the music industry and how when we tell people, oh, what do you do for a living? You're like, oh, I'm a musician, but I also make coffee on the side. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about first is obviously how we met, because we didn't go to school together. We didn't know each other at all. We just met going to gigs. Yeah. We met probably the most organically you can meet someone.
No, it feels strange because we met someone the other day and told them how we met, and they went, that just feels like how people were supposed to meet.
Yeah, people are supposed to meet like that.
It is strange because we say oh, it's so weird that we met so organically because of course, people meet at school or over online or whatever. But yeah, we really did just kind of meet through being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, which is so weird because obviously we met going to gigs in London. I mean, there's that. Oh my God, I need to find this photo and put it in. We speak about this all the time. The photo of the video of Reading at Reading Festival, and the photo you have of the behind of my hat.
Yes.
We were your bare skin was
literally as close to each other as we are right now.
We were rubbing sweat and we didn't know each other at all, which blows my mind. But yeah, we met it was primarily going to Youngblood gigs, how old am I? 6 years ago. Wow. So when he was really little, I knew him before he got really. Basically, I like to say pre-Halsey, before Halsey came and did whatever.
Yeah, early on, back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah, when he was playing you saw him when he was playing 150 cap venues in Brighton and stuff, and I saw him at Reading 2018. 18. Yeah, when he was playing Festival Republic. But we didn't meet then. We met, just going to gigs and recognising, because we were the sad lot that would queue outside before the gig. And what did we had a mutual friend.
Yeah, we had a couple of mutual friends, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's just people
that were also at those gigs that we kind of became friends with.
Equally as sad, waiting around.
But we went to Thorpe Park, not knowing each other.
Yes.
We all just knew the same people.
Yeah,
and those people had organised.
They were because I got a message from mutual friend, and she was like, "Oh, we're all going to Thorpe Park. Do you want to come?" And I was like, I've met you 3 times, but sure." And so we all kind of rocked up, and I saw you, and I knew you because you were the guy that looked like Youngblood's guitarist.
Of course, yeah.
At the time, it was the joke that I looked like a really poor knockoff of Youngblood, and you looked like a really poor knockoff of his guitarist.
For reference, though, I don't. I was just a dude that had brown hair and a beard, and people were like, close enough.
And similar haircut.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah. And basically that was it. But basically I have a large mouth and had curtains at the time. So everyone was like, "Oh, you look like a small Youngblood." And I was like, "We are the same height." But yeah, we met at the Thorpe Park Fright Night. Of course. And we just like were talking and realized that you lived a 10-minute drive away from me.
And we realized there must have been so many times that we've just crossed each other's paths and never knew of it.
Because we floated in very similar fields.
Yeah.
But you're like a year younger than me. So, and in school years in the UK, that's a big thing.
That's a long time.
That's 12 months. And obviously, yeah, that's how we met. And then I offered you a lift.
Yeah.
To
Brixton Academy!
I offered you a lift to Youngblood's show at Brixton Academy because I was like freshly driving at the time. That was like the first time I drove in London.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm sorry I could have killed you.
I put a lot of faith in you.
Yeah. Ooh, just hitting the microphone. Yeah. Lots of people do put a lot of faith in my driving, but there's currently a fuck off dent in the side of my car.
Yeah, it's not a good track record, if I'm honest.
No. What car are you in? You're like your third car, aren't you?
My third car, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my 6th. but this is why you drive to the gigs and I just get in the back seat and give you petrol money. But yeah, we drove together and you showed me some of your demos at the time.
Rough
Demos, because I was already in another band, the Polygons. Shout out the Polygons. We were driving to Brixton and you showed me some demos because you found out I played guitar.
Oh yeah, early on demos.
early demos.
Rough.
Insomnia.
Yeah, really rough early on demo of Insomnia. But yeah, so it would have been around that time of like Listen to Me, Insomnia, and just those like really early on.
Oh my god, yeah, Listen to Me. I just forgot that song.
Skip that.
I just forgot that song because they said, no, that song still, as a first song, because that's the first song we released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On April 20th. It was on 420.
Yeah,
April 20th, 2020.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. 2020. Oh. And yeah, so you showed me that and I was like, yeah, it's pretty, just assaulting your chair. It's like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's fine because I was, I was in like I still am in that band, but I'm in another band and I was like, yeah, that's good. I could play guitar for you. If you have the songs written, I'll play guitar.
I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. I was like, you're a guitarist. Let me show you some of my demos. Let me see what you think. And you were like, oh, well, do you need someone to play guitar? And I was like, no, I really did. I was trying to put together a band to play with me live.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then when we got to the gig, we kind of were like in separate parts of the queue, and then it was freezing, and I had food poisoning.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Only hours before picking you up, I was both ends. And I was like, nah, but I gotta go to the gig, and then stood for like 12 hours in the freezing cold, and then stood at the back like a mum with all your bags. That was so funny. But yeah, no, so that's how we met, and then you kind of just like, let's start jamming.
Yeah, let's do some music shit.
So started playing music, got a drummer. That's a story for a different time because I'm gonna get our drummer on, and so I want to tell that story then. But
big up Max,
2 X's, and we found our drummer, and then we literally played together for a month and a half, and then had our first gig. Yeah, which was at the Forum.
It was at the Forum in Tunbridge Wells. But before we talk about the Forum, though, I want to bring up after our first rehearsal together as a band. So, I'd found Sam and he'd come over and gone over a few of the demos with me. And then I, found Max, did the same thing. He came to the college I was at the time and helped me record some like proper drums for the demos.
Was that at your college?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Because you did the drums for Listen to Me.
Yes.
Not that you can tell. And that's so cool. I forgot he did that.
And yeah, so then we organised band rehearsal. You both kind of vaguely knew the songs. Well, let's try and put it together as a full band. And the day, because we had rehearsals 2 days in a row. We had rehearsals 2 days in a row after our first rehearsal because I'd booked this gig in before I had a band.
Oh my God, I didn't realise you'd booked it before you had a band. Were you just going to do it on your own?
No, I planned on putting a band together.
Oh, just of anyone you could find.
I was like, I want to start doing this, so I'm going to say yes to this gig opportunity.
That's so crazy. I didn't realise that you just booked it not.
Yeah, so I think we only did like 3 rehearsals before that first gig.
Was it only 3?
Maybe 4 at a push.
That's crazy.
But yeah, after the first rehearsal, we had rehearsal the next day, and I was driving from college to the rehearsal. And I called you in the car just to make sure all good, just going to get there on time, all that. And I was like, I can't lie, man. I've really hurt my neck. I knew you were going to say that. I've hurt my neck from headbanging during this rehearsal. You know, we'd all met each other, but it was our first time like kind of playing together as a band. And not that we like needed to impress each other, but we're all like,
oh yeah, come on, I'm gonna really put the full show on.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I've pulled a muscle in my neck from headbanging, and you were like, I'm so glad you said that because I have too.
Yeah, it was all of us trying to be cool, and we were like, yeah, because
we walked in there, and the difference in energy between that first rehearsal and second rehearsal, there was still energy, but like first rehearsal, we were going for it. We've got it on video somewhere.
Oh my God, yeah, because you like get disorientated and end up like headbanging on the floor, and I'm there with my Squire White Jazzmaster. And yeah, just absolutely ruined our necks.
Yeah, so the next rehearsal we were just like,
let's just practice the songs. It's really getting
listen
down.
to me.
Hey, you. Oh,
shit.
But yeah,
then we did our gig in February or March?
It's on your ring. For context, I got Nath a ring with the date of our first gig.
It says Teddy Bear on the outside.
YRR.
And then on the inside, it is Roman numerals engraved for the date of our first gig.
Which was, because I can't remember. Can you read Roman numerals?
I'm not sure it's right. Just looking at this.
I've just got it wrong.
That definitely says 2020 at the end, and then that's a 2, so that is February.
Yeah.
But the first one is XVII, which is 10/5.
The 16th? 16th of February?
17th. Oh, 17th, yeah.
17th?
Yeah, 17th.
Oh, 17th.
Yeah, oh, yes. It is right. It is right.
Okay, thank God. Otherwise, that was money that I just wasted.
No, I wear it every day.
Yeah. At least it's got the name right on the outside.
No, it's only got one Y and one R. Shit. But yes, we did our first gig on February 17th.
Yeah.
And it went down really well for a first gig.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously no one knew who we were.
Nope.
Apart from just like friends, family, and people that had seen me and my old band and you and your old band.
The same group of people that we went to Thorpe Park with, most of them came to our first gig, which was really nice because none of them were from around our area. They were all London based.
Yeah, London or Brighton. Did anyone come up from Brighton?
1 or 2,
or like from more south of Tunbridge Wells, which isn't too much. But yeah, and then we did that, and then we went into lockdown. We had one gig and then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So we became a COVID band for a year and a half. And then we both put on 3 stone and played a gig in an alleyway, basically.
Yeah, we did. Because it was supposed to be in a venue that shall not be named. And they cancelled on us like half an hour before,
No, they cancelled on us as we showed up. We showed up to the venue and they went, oh yeah, we're closed because we're understaffed. And we were like, what? Thanks for telling us.
Yeah.
I almost got fired over that gig.
Yeah, so then we called the people that were putting it all together, and they were like, you can perform in this little like alleyway of shops area. What's it called? Do you know?
I can't remember. It's basically a little alleyway of shops outside the Royal Victoria Centre.
Yeah, outside the shopping centre.
Yeah.
So we performed there through like
Oh my God, it was through the PA system around the top.
Like through the little speakers that are like this big.
But there was just like 12 of them.
Yeah, just 12 of them going around the whole place. Oh, that was a mess. I loved it, but it was a mess.
So much fun. I did my first guitar swing.
Oh my God, that's your first one live.
And I don't do them anymore because I play like an Explorer now, and that's just pointy and ready to poke me or someone in the face.
I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about how in rehearsals, like, you tend to have like a tad bit more energy than when we're on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wonder like why that is, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, in rehearsals, like he swings his guitar around and stuff like that. And I was like, she was like, I haven't seen him do that on stage. And I went, yeah, I'm not sure he wants to break that guitar on stage.
No, because if I break it, then I've got to go to the spare, and now I've broken the guitar. Basically, I would do it, but I just need to get the strap locks that like Slipknot have, where they're like drilled into the guitar and then they clip on and like screw on. It's like industrial, basically chain.
Yeah.
And so that guitar is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like that guy, I cannot remember the band of Like Me, but the bass player where he just like does multiple spins.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, well, that's kind of how the inception in how the band started. But I wanted to talk about as well how you got into music, because obviously band's been going for a couple years, and we started it when, well, you must have been 17 and I was freshly 18, and now we're old men. Ordered the Zimmer frame off Amazon, but
I've got back pain every day now.
Dude, yeah, we haven't clicked each other's backs yet today.
Oh.
So I'm ready for after we film this. But I wanted to speak about how you got into music, because obviously your music taste, as well as my music taste, because it's very similar, it's quite different to our families. And lots of people have a lot of similar music taste to their families and what they grew up on, but obviously it's kind of not the case too much with us. So how did you get into music, and kind of like what's your evolution from when you were a wee lad?
My evolution.
You're ever like a Pokemon dude.
I don't know. I feel like as a kid, I was always looking for something that just kind of brought me joy, because it wasn't school and it wasn't so many other things.
Exactly,
and then when I was in year 6, so about 10 years old, a local theatre company had like gone around the schools being like, hey, we're looking for a cast for, what was it, for Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah.
They were going around schools going, oh, we need kids to be in Peter Pan. And this was for Trinity Theatre in Tunbridge Wells.
Local amateur dramatics.
And I did just choir stuff in primary school. It was just something to do that I enjoyed doing. And my head teacher was like, you should audition for this.
Oh, cool.
And I was like...
Your head teacher said that?
Yeah, my primary school head teacher. Big up Miss Lawrence.
Big up!
She was very into arts, and when we changed over from the previous head teacher, she really kind of encouraged us all to do some form of art and stuff in school.
I find that quite rare nowadays.
It's really
that's
rare.
Really good.
And I know a lot of the parents weren't very approving of that, but it worked out well for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I auditioned for that and got part of John Darling, Top Hat. And,
big up.
And all that.
Big up the Top Hat.
And that's kind of where I started doing musical theatre. And I did that. I did theatre for years.
Definitely can't tell we were theatre kids. Saw you.
Does it show?
No, it doesn't show at all, darling.
So I did theatre for years, but of course, over the next year, the year after that, I joined secondary school.
Yeah.
And I didn't have loads of friends at the beginning of secondary school. And the music rooms were open during break times at school. And I was like, oh, I'm into music. I do theatre. I like singing and stuff.
I can sing pretty well.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I'm saying I can sing pretty well.
So I went to go into a music room, didn't really know how it all worked, just kind of walked into one, and there was 2 guys in there, one with a guitar, one on drums, and there were 2 other guys from my year. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise the room's booked. And I was like, oh, no, it's all right. There's other people in the other rooms come in. We're just having a bit of a jam. And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were playing Seven Nation Army and Californication.
Oh, well,
so White Stripes and Red Hot Chili Peppers. My music taste at that point in time wasn't really very big. I didn't have a specific thing that I was into. I liked Michael Jackson.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I liked his music a lot as a kid, and that was kind of, other than the shows that I'd been in for theatre.
Apart from musical numbers and things.
That was it.
Stuff you
and I was like, oh, these sound cool. And And I was like, I'll meet you guys back here tomorrow break. And they were like, yeah, sure. So I went home and I learned the words for Seven Nation Army and Californication. And like I just, learned the songs. Like I listened to them and came back in, jammed with them the next day. And I was like, damn, we should start a band.
Yeah, guys, we should start a band.
Guys, we should start a band.
No way. It would be like crazy if we had a band.
And I did have another friend from my form tutor, and I knew he played guitar. And I was like, I think I'm starting a band with like these guys.
Guys, I'm starting a band.
You play guitar, don't you? You should come along too. So we did, and then I started my first secondary school band, and I was doing theatre all at the same time as this. But being in a band, you kind of, I don't know, I'm 11 years old. I Google bands, and it's kind of rock stuff that tends to come up. Maybe softer rock and
maybe like radio rock or pop rock or indie rock, but it's still dudes with a guitar. Especially of that time, you're thinking like you're coming out of like peak Arctic Monkeys, and like the Wombats and all that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're in 2013 at this time. 2013, 2014.
So you're coming out of that, and also they were like the biggest thing in the 2000s. And so when you Google band, you're seeing all of these iconic bands. So
so I did that with them for years. My sister went to a One Direction concert, and there was this little band supporting called 5 Seconds of Summer.
Well, I haven't heard of them.
No.
I think they sound like they'll do pretty good.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty cool. There must be 5 of them.
No, there's 4. I had to really think about that. I was like, wait, how many of them are there?
But I'll tell you what, I did want to be the 5th second of summer. My sister went to see One Direction. She found this band called 5 Seconds of Summer, supporting them, and then she showed me some of their songs when we were in the car, because she was a few years older than me.
Yeah.
She was in her angsty teenage headphones on in the car.
I still am.
And I was like, what are you listening to? And she puts a headphone in my ear, and it's Don't Stop by 5 Seconds of Summer. And I was like, this is really cool.
When I saw that music video as well, great music video, because it's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. Sorry, carry on.
So I got into 5 Seconds of Summer, and that kind of progressed into like Royal Bloods. And I was just doing theatre all this time, playing in the band at school all in this time. I think I got to around year 9, and I found this band called My Chemical Romance on YouTube. And I suddenly, as much as I love 5 Seconds of Summer, I didn't want to be the 5th second of summer.
You wanted to be a member of the Black Parade.
I did.
The fringe just grew in.
It happened overnight.
The nail varnish went on, the fringe grew in, and the eyeliner went on.
Yeah, I woke up one morning and my eyes were black, and so was my hair.
You never looked back.
I know, there was a brief period there.
It was like the snapback phase. Like, did you like the I call it like the Instagram sitting on walls phase, taking photos.
Such a good way
with the flick fringe.
The like fluffier fringe. Yeah. Was more into like kind of skater streetwear, but that was me just going like, I want to do something different than being emo.
And now look at us.
And then I started Teddy Bear.
And now you are the emo wonder kid.
Emo wonder kid. Thank you, Abby Mac. Thank you. I use that in every single press release.
I was like, it's got to be in the intro, otherwise it what's the point? You might see now that the screens are back to normal. As you can tell, this is episode 1, but all things to remember for the future. We just talk about how you got into music and all the bands and stuff. I mean, we don't have to name drop it if you want, but there are some clips on YouTube of this band, and they are iconic. It's better than the band I was in at that age. I was in like so many bands. It basically was the same members, but we kept on changing the name and
genre.
And genre. Yeah, exactly. And like kicking out members, bringing other members in, but it just stayed like the core, like 3 of us, and then there was a bunch of other. At one point, there was like 7 of us. It was like pub rock Slipknot. It was terrible, not in like genre of music, but in the amount of members. But yeah, and they're great. It's just so funny to like look back, because I've got videos of those bands just in the ether as well, and it's so funny to look back on them and then like clips from like last year, because obviously we're filming this in January, and just clips from last year when we were playing gigs, and just being like, that's crazy how much has changed.
Yeah,
even within Teddy Bear.
Honestly, yeah. But I mean, those clips are out there. I'm not going to name drop
No.
it. If someone finds it, they find it. That's fine. Have fun. There's some good stuff. There's some bad stuff.
There is some 5 Seconds of Summer covers.
Oh, there's definitely some 5 Seconds of Summer covers.
Yeah, but yeah, it is really cool. And then obviously up to then, you obviously left school and the band. I mean, I wouldn't say you ever you never broke the band up, did you? It
just kind of fizzled out. We played all the way through secondary school up through year 11, and we did the year 11 leavers assembly.
Yeah.
All of us went different places afterwards and just kind of went into different things. I was the only person that actually went to do music at college, which is like a decision I had to make because it was between theatre and music. And my thoughts at the time were, my thoughts at the time were, if I want to do theatre for college, it's going to be really expensive for me to do music outside of college, like book a studio or what. These were my thoughts at the time, like booking studio time and recording and learning how to mix and stuff. Whereas I thought, if I did music at college, I have access to all of these. If I did music at college, I'll have access to all of these facilities, but I could still do musical theatre like for free with some amateur group outside of it. So I chose to go into music, and then the theatre just kind of died out. I burnt myself out with it. I did it.
You did a lot, basically all the time, every year.
Yeah, I mean, there was one year that I did, I think it was 4 shows in 1 year. And that might not sound a lot, like 4 in 1 year, but bearing in mind for each of these shows, you're rehearsing for kind of 4 or 5 months at a time, and then you have like a month of performances pretty much every single day.
Yeah.
And so the time that I did that many in 1 year, they were overlapping. I was doing 2 shows. Like I was doing a show, and whilst doing performances for one show, I was rehearsing for another, and I just burnt myself out on it. I still love theatre.
Yeah, you've always said like maybe it's because, I mean, I grew up around theatre. My parents were in the theatre. Again, you couldn't tell. And it's just like the case of, we've both spoken about, like, I've gone to see shows in the West End and stuff recently, and I always find it so impressive, and it always just makes me feel so warm from when I did really crap shows when I was little, and like, because I did dance and stuff, so we would do dance shows and things, and it always just makes me feel all warm. And also when I'd go see like my dad do shows and stuff, I was like, we've both spoken about like maybe in years to go.
Yeah, down the line, I'd probably like to pick it back up again.
Yeah, it would be fun. Like even if it was just for like a show, like how the main thing that comes to my mind is like when Brendan Urie did Kinky Boots.
Yeah,
I think you'd look great in those shoes.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, so that there'll be something. But then music kind of took over.
Yeah, exactly. So music kind of took over. I really focused into it at college. I had really found so many different bands and artists that influenced me way more than just the stuff I was listening to early on when I was in secondary school.
Yeah.
And I started writing my own stuff. I'd done a couple of originals with my secondary school bands, but that's a band. You all have an input and stuff. And I got to college and I was a musician on my own. And I'd kind of realised the trajectory of rock music and just kind of music in general was that more and more people were solo artists instead of a band.
Yeah, that was a big thing when we first started. Because it was kind of like, because obviously we were your backing band. Yeah. And you were like, because Teddy Bear, even though we are a band, Teddy Bear is you. And that's why we have the other aliases. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I started writing my own songs, and then I was in college and learning to produce it and how to record and how to properly wrap a XLR cable. And
I still do not know how to do that.
No, you
get
don't.
so in rehearsal, you're like, give me that cable, give me that. You're never wrapping them. I was like, oh no.
So you make it look like spaghetti.
I love spaghetti.
Yeah, I started writing some songs, and then that kind of takes us up to about where I met you. I had some demos from the songs that I'd done for college.
For your project, and then we kind of went from there. And well, this kind of leads nicely onto the thing I wanted to talk about next, which was, well, one, we'll touch on briefly behind the name Teddy Bear.
Yes.
Because obviously it's a it's a solo name. It is your artist name, and also our writing process, or your writing process as well. But more recently, we collaborate more on songs. So let's talk about the name first, because obviously the podcast is called In the Pit with Misfit because at the time I was trying to do a solo thing as well, and I was trying to come up with a name. And at 17 years old, I was like going through these or looking for things that weren't taken, and for some reason I settled on Misfit, and here we are 6 years later. And I use it as everything now. But yeah, so how did Teddy Bear kind of come back? Because I kind of remember, but I feel like you'll clarify it.
I'm really not too sure on what the specifics of the decision making was, but I remember speaking to you about it because I kind of confirmed, like, I want to start this music project with you as my live band. Not sure what it's going to be called yet. And we were speaking about it. And originally I had this name Overflow.
Oh my God!
Overflow, like one word.
Yeah.
OVERFLOW. And I've got some like drawn out logos for it in a scrapbook somewhere. I'll send you photos if you want to put it up.
Please.
And I was a bit wanky, if I'm honest. Like at the time I worked in B&M whilst I was at college, Overflow was like just when you had stock there.
Yeah, I mean, we both worked in retail.
Yeah, was not selling, and it just got put in the overflow bin, and it was all going to get thrown away and stuff. And, you know, I thought, oh, damn, there's a political message in that.
Damn, like, I'm so deep. I work at B&M.
We're just being treated like the overflow. And
yes! We still write like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I came to you. I was like, what about overflow? And you were like, I don't think so.
Over no.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I had a bit of a thought, and I thought, I like Teddy Bear. And I don't know why that came to mind. I think it was something to the extent of I liked the contrast for being rock music, but like Teddy Bear sounded like approachable, because a big thing when I started out was I wanted to be like listenable by people like pop music and stuff, but be leaning into rock.
Reach a wide audience.
Yeah, that was like when I was 17 and starting this, I was like, well, you know, I'd like to be able to have a bigger fan base, but still kind of make rocky stuff. And I was very much trying to go down that pop rock route at the beginning.
Yeah, pop rock with pop punk influences. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to what's the earliest thing on Spotify and any other major streaming platform is Listen to Me.
Yes.
And then obviously there is some stuff that has gone from existence that shan't be mentioned. Not even necessarily bad, it just was recorded ourselves.
Yeah, it was stuff that I wasn't proud of looking back.
Yeah, I mean, but stuff like Listen to Me and Insomnia and stuff is kind of more of the vibes we started with. And
it's more radio rock.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll speak about how we kind of progressed a bit later on. But as for the name Teddy Bear, I just liked the confliction between such a soft imagery, a teddy bear, and rock music. I thought that was fun. And I think I tried to like dial it in at some point to be something about like, well, when people see me, they like...
I was going to bring this up,
They like think I might be like aggressive or standoffish. But when you get to know me, I'm like a teddy bear, wanky 17-year-old attitude. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I just like the sound of the name, and I liked the distinction or the contrasts between...
Yeah. It's like an oxymoron.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, big word for Sam. Bloody hell, my dyslexic brain...
Spell that.
No. Can you use it in a sentence? The name Teddy Bear is an oxymoron.
Anyway, I pitched the name Teddy Bear to Sam, and he went, I like it. I feel like you could make it look more unique, because when people search Teddy Bear, because like it's not going to just come up with you unless you're one of the most famous people ever. You were like, it's just going to come up with kids.
It's just going to come up with teddy bears.
Yeah. And you were like, maybe you pitched it as like TEDDY bear spelt normally. Yeah. And I was like,
Teddy Bear.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that looks bad.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe the I could be an exclamation mark.
Yeah. And we settled on 2 Y's and 2 R's.
Double Y, double R.
Double Y, double R. TEDDYBEARR.
Yeah.
And in all caps, it just kind of looked quite standout. It took up like a good amount of space, and it wasn't going to be misconstrued for something else.
No, when you search teddy bear, it does come up. It comes up, and then underneath it's like, did you mean these videos,
No.
which are kids' videos? Which is quite funny because I do have this imagery of some mum like putting on Teddy Bear's Picnic, and then all of a sudden the bloody irrelevant music video comes in, and it's just you like deep throating a microphone. It's just like, yes, introduce them to Rock Young.
Oh god.
But
yeah, that's kind of how we settled on that name in the end. And you know what? I think it's worked out quite well. It's definitely memorable.
Yeah, people have definitely gone. I remember the name because when they go, it's Teddy Bear, and everyone has no idea what to expect, and especially with our most recent music, which is heavier than pop punk.
Yeah.
It's a lot alternative rock, and it's got industrial feels and some metal influences as well. To just be called Teddy Bear is quite fun.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, like with like MISFIT, you would kind of associate it more with kind of something more angsty and like rocky,
more like
that.
punk type music.
Yeah, so maybe I should just write like stuff like Mumford and Sons, and just like get like folk on it, and just release.
It's not a bad idea.
No, you know, but
pull a mod son.
Exactly, yeah, pull a mod son and go from pop punk to kind of like folk rock. But it was kind of interesting because you were like, when you were going for the name thing, obviously I had like MISFIT and I'd thought about it, and then I was like, well, I could just keep that and still perform with you, because when you introduce me, use that name, it always just makes me chuckle, because I do think of me at 17 going, I need something really cool,
something edgy,
and it's just so it's like when you make an email at like 10.
Oh my god!
And it's like baked bean lover 42, and then you're signing up to like a newsletter in a shop, and they're like, oh, what's your email? And you're like, baked bean lover 42. It's like stuck with you, but I use it for everything. So, and it's not necessarily bad, but I like Teddy Bear, and it works really well for merch as well.
It's very well placed.
Yes, exactly.
Just all the letters work quite well with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously we've done a lot of collaboration on the t-shirts, which you can buy on our Big Cartel store. And it's always just worked really well. And the imagery of teddy bears, and you can like destroy them or have them cute. Yeah. It's really cool. And imagery, which I want to touch on in a bit, is a big thing for you. But first, I wanted to speak about your writing process, because obviously you do a lot of writing on your own.
Yeah.
And you have notoriously said to me that you struggle writing with other people, and there's only been a handful of people that you've really been able to like fully collaborate with. Yeah. And it's just fortunate that I am one of them.
Yeah, it really worked out for the best.
Yeah, I know, which is cool, because we've been able to collaborate on some of the songs fully like 50-50. Writing wise, you do the production and sort that with our producer.
And big up producer Joe.
Yeah, big up producer. Yes. You suck, dude. I'm keeping that in.
Oh no.
There'll be some cuts in this, but I'm keeping that in. That was horrific. We're normally way more in sync than that. We were in sync with producer, but we couldn't high five. How spiky.
God. Sorry.
But getting back to it, your writing process for, people starting out, because when I was learning guitar, I was always asking my guitar teacher, like, how do I write a song? He was like, well, you just kind of do it. And I was like, yeah, cheers, Simon.
Cheers, mate. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about just writing. But all my early songs were just rip-offs of, like, other people's music. For 2 years, I wrote Nirvana songs. Yeah. And same chords, similar thing. But it started, I'd then write a Nirvana song, but it was a song in the style of Nirvana. It wasn't ripping off their chords and stuff. So how did your songwriting process start off when you were younger and evolved into what it is now?
That's really interesting. That's a good question.
Oh, thank you.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Next question.
I don't know. Move on, mate. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you how it actually started.
Because you're pretty good at writing songs.
Thank you. I think I've always had like a bit of an ear for what's catchy. Whether it kind of be within music that is for me or isn't for me. I can, if there's a song that I don't want to listen to, I can still admit whether it's a good song or not, Yeah,
it's like we talked about, like, even when something's not a cup of tea, or like a genre that we might not be so interested in, you can still go, I appreciate that is a good song. It's just not for me.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think having that in me is helpful because it means I can draw influences from places that maybe other people that are more within our genre niche won't.
Yeah.
So I remember like starting to write songs when I was young in like year 3, year 4 in primary school. And of course they weren't like good or anything. I don't remember any of them.
Do you not remember any of them? I remember one of mine. It was called Electronic Messaging, and it went Electronic Messaging MSN, and that was like the whole chorus just repeated. So I was that young, I was quoting MSN.
Yeah, I remember just starting to write songs when I was younger because, you watch Disney shows and half of them are musicians in the show.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, fair enough.
And you'd see them start to write a song and I'd be like, oh, I could start to write a song. And, I didn't play any instruments or anything until I was in early secondary school.
Yeah, you were a bit older than because I started learning guitar when I was like 9.
Yeah, I didn't have any lessons or anything like that.
Self-taught, baby.
Yes. Yeah, just kind of writing melody ideas and, well, I wasn't writing the melodies, but writing lyrics and having a melody idea for them in my head. And then, of course, getting to secondary school, you start doing covers in bands.
Yeah.
And then, the more covers you do, eventually things pop up that, like a guitarist, like my guitarist would be like, how's this sound as a thing? And just play some chords. And I'd be like, that sounds quite good as a thing.
That sounds like a thing.
And then the drummer goes over the top of it, and you're like, "Hey, those things sound like two things together." Like, and then just starting to do stuff on top of it. So I had 1 or 2 songs with those guys back in secondary school, and I think it just kind of comes naturally. It really comes naturally. You have those few things. You're like, oh, and things come together like that. But of course, I get out of school, and I don't have those other people around me playing a guitar or playing drums. At this point, fortunately I can play drums and a keyboard at that point. By that point in time. But it all comes from inspiration, really. I'll listen to a song and go, I love the vibe of this song. This song.
Or the bridge section. Yeah. I really love how they've done that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you kind of take something from it. I'm not saying you nick a melody or the exact chord structure, but I might go, wow, the guitar sounds really cool in this song. Oh, it's a really fuzzy guitar. I'm going to write a song with a fuzzy guitar in it.
Yeah.
And you come up with some chords that sound good with the fuzzy guitar. And to me, melodies just kind of come naturally over the top of what I'm doing.
I think that, I used to say when we first started, we were like, if pop punk was for the musical theatre.
Yeah.
And I think you having that really strong musical theatre background really helps with your melody, and you can just find harmonies really well. Yeah. So obviously that's really lucky, but if you need to find a harmony, you just find the next note in the chord.
Yeah. Those things are just kind of in my head. Like, I don't think to myself, oh, let's put the third harmony in or something.
Oh, the third.
I just, like, if I want a harmony in the song, I'll sing what I think would be a harmony. I'll listen to it together and go, oh, I like that for the most part, but maybe that one note could actually be lower rather than higher, and I'll re-record it.
It's all just trial and error, really.
It's trial and error. I don't really have a...
Put bad stuff out, because that will only make your next stuff better.
Yeah. But I don't really have a specific method when it comes to writing. Like, there's never a thing that comes first and a thing that comes second. It's just whatever comes to mind first, and then the other parts build around it.
Yeah.
I've definitely gotten into the habit in certain periods of time of finding a structure.
Yeah, most definitely. You get into habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get into habits with certain things, but I'll come up with a melody and then I'll go, okay, well, what I've been doing recently is I'll put the guitar part behind that melody. Cool, now let's find a cool synth to go behind it.
I need a synth.
I need a good synth.
Let's go on Splice.
Let's put a good sub bass in there and like building it out like that. But there isn't a set way. Sometimes I come up with a guitar part and I go, that's a really cool guitar part.
Yeah.
And I park it on a shelf. And then maybe 2 years later...
Honestly, that's what's been happening recently. We've been coming back and going, oh, that riff that we wrote, the rest of the song, wank.
Yeah, that riff in that song works really well with that melody I came up with last week. And
yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of that. I come up with cool ideas. I record them into the voice notes on my phone.
And the voice notes now, so much better. You can pause and layer now.
Yeah.
It's great. For taking notes and songwriting, I wish voice notes were like that 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many tools now.
Voice notes of us from like 3 years ago, where it's like, okay, chords, lead parts, and then you play the lead part afterwards, and then I'm like, okay, and now I'm going to do the vocals over Sam playing the chords, so that in 2 months when we come down the line, we can go, oh, okay, let's record these bits over the top of each other and see how it works. But yeah, there's no set thing. I wish I could give more advice on how to...
No, but I think that's a good thing, because basically you're saying there isn't a right way. And there isn't a right way. And it's not like we're not... Granted, we put music out, it does right, and we play gigs, and hopefully people like it, but we're by no means like industry professionals. No. But from people, because people have asked us before, how do you write songs? And it's the case of you just got to write.
You just got to start. And as much as it sounds wanky and it sounds like, oh, okay, cool, didn't think of that, you do.
Yeah.
Try and think of a melody idea. And you might think of a melody idea, write a song around it and go, shit, I've just written Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. Like, it happens.
Yeah, we've written songs and we've gone, wow, that was amazing.
And came together so quickly.
And then 3 weeks later, we've gone, that bridge is completely just that song.
Yeah.
So we can't...
It happens.
Yeah.
But just try and be aware of it. Like, everyone's inspired by different things and from different places, and you're allowed to take inspiration from whatever you want.
Yes. Creative liberty is like that's just how music evolves.
Exactly. Music wouldn't be what it is in any single genre now if someone wasn't influenced by the people that came 10 years before them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I was just going to say, I was going to touch on the point of like your routine and your songwriting stuff, because when you get me involved in a song, I mean, some of the songs we've done together, it's the case of I've bought you something. Like with the first song we worked on together, I was like, hey, Irrelevant was the first song we worked on together. And I was
Stream Irrelevant on any major streaming platforms.
What's it on? It's been out for like 4 years. It's done all right. Oh my God, it's been out for 4 years. And it's pretty good. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to play. But with that song, I had written a full song. And it was about my ex-partner at the time. And it was like, what you say is irrelevant. And it was very cool and teenage angst.
Yeah.
And it was too long. It was like 5 minutes long. And I brought it to you. And you went, I really like this. But if I'm going to sing something, because obviously you were going to sing it. You're a better singer than I am. And this was, I was bringing it for Teddy Bear. You were like, I want to change the words. And I was like, cool, I think some of these words could still work. And we changed the structure and we wrote our first guitar solo together, which I still think holds up today.
Honestly, I love it.
Yeah, it's
simple, but it's just perfect for the song.
Exactly. And so we collaborated on that. But I was going to say my favourite part of collaborating on a song is the songs that I don't even write 50-50 with you. It's where you've written 75% of a song and you go, Sam, can you help me finish this song? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Come in like a bloody superhero and lay on your floor. You're like, hey, can you think of some lyrics? And then we don't think of lyrics. And then I lay on your floor like this, like trying to block out all the senses, becoming like bloody Daredevil. And you're like, what if we said spanner? And you're like, I don't like that, but we could use something else. And I just give you the idea.
Yeah, I think that's a reason we work so well together, is because the reason I don't work well with a lot of people is because my songwriting ego gets in the way.
Yeah.
That is just how it works. There are things in my brain that say, no, that's not a good idea. And the reason I can't work well with a lot of people is because a lot of people don't like that.
And they think you're a dick.
And that's fair enough. I am a dick to write with. I'm more than aware of it. And I tell people that before I try and write with them.
Just to let you know, I am a dick.
But the reason that I work well writing songs with you is because you are more than okay to let your songwriting ego get out the way. Yeah, you'll pitch something. You'll say, how about we say blah, 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 blah. And I go, I really don't like 5 of those 6 words, but that 6th word, that's really good. Maybe.
And I like the energy you're going for.
Yeah, or I like the melody you went with it, or whatever. And I pick pieces of what you've done, and they inspire me to do something else,
and vice versa.
Yeah, and that's why I love writing with you, is because you're able to take, no, I don't like that as an answer.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not really, because I think saying yes to things, because lots of the time, if you go, no, I don't like it, I go, well, I do. And I think, let's just put a pin in it. and see if we can change it and stuff. But I'm really not bothered to let something go. And I think over the years of both of us writing together, you have kind of adopted some of that as well. You're happy to go, no, I do like this thing, I do like this thing. But it's kind of like, if we can think of something better, then we'll put it there. But sometimes
it's like, well, we can't think of something that we think is better, so maybe this is the best thing.
Yeah, and lots of the time it is. We're just trying to be perfectionists.
Yeah, I can't remember what song we were writing. I think it might have been Locked and Loaded. But we were writing some of the lyrics in the verses.
Yeah.
I think it was in the verses. And we were like, I like every single thing we're saying there, but it's just not connecting. And we sat there for like 15 minutes just staring at it, kind of singing it through in our heads.
Laying on the floor.
Yeah. And I can't remember who, but one of us was like, why don't we just swap these two paragraphs? Yeah.
So you went, why don't we just swap the paragraphs? And then it just went,
it honestly, just everything lined up perfectly.
And also in Locked and Loaded as well, you just reminded me of that. In the chorus, you were like, I feel like it needs more words. And I went, no.
The space worked
The space worked really well, and the oohs, and it just, because there's so much going on, it was a really nice contrast. And so, yeah, it was kind of like things like that bouncing off each other. But yeah, that's really interesting, because I thought you were going to say, I don't really have a thing, because you do just show me a lyric, a drum beat, a guitar riff, and just kind of go from there. But I suppose if anyone wanted to take anything away from that, it's start with anything.
Anything. Whatever comes to mind that you think, oh, wow, that could be something. Get it down, whether it's a voice note of you beatboxing a drum part, or like you singing what you think would be a good guitar melody. You don't need to do it on a computer in like a program or some sort of DAW. Like you just get your voice notes, or if you've got a good memory, remember it. Like, just get whatever sort of idea you have down, because you can have that idea. You might wait on it for 2 years. You might wait on it for 2 days. You might think it's a guitar part and it's actually a backing vocal.
Yeah.
Like, just get these ideas down. I just showed Sam earlier today a song that I'm working on, but I didn't know where I was going with it. And then I realized it worked perfectly with a guitar riff that I wrote 2 years ago. And we tried to write a full song for him. We kind of did, but
it was all right.
It was all
the lyrics
right.
were...
But, you know, it never got released because clearly it wasn't quite there. And I've just realised this new track I'm working on works really well with that guitar part, and that means we can actually take the chorus from that, because I quite like the chorus that we did. And it's inspired the lyrics that I'm now writing for the verse, which is the new part of the song. Everything just
came
goes together. Keep all of your ideas. Get an idea for anything and just get it down. Write it down, record it in a voice note or on the computer or whatever. Just get any idea you have down, and you might make something.
Exactly, yeah. And I think also just like make bad stuff.
Yeah.
We have so many songs that aren't out. For each song we have out, there's probably 5 that aren't. And it's just make stuff. It's just make.
Get any idea out.
And also, if you have the confidence, I know this is easier said than done, but if you have the confidence, perform those songs.
Yeah.
Because I would say we have learned, and I learned so much from field testing a song.
Yeah, I'll quite often bring demos to rehearsals, and we'll see how we feel about them. Like, I'll say, hey guys, I've got this idea. I've got this demo. Really, when I say demo, it doesn't need to be a fully produced thing.
No.
It can literally be you singing the melody. But I'll bring something to rehearsal and say, how are we feeling about this, boys? I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. And you guys will either go, I can see that we could do something with that, or you go, not quite feeling it.
Not quite. Or, oh yes, let's do this now.
And that also doesn't mean that you have to listen to the people around you. Sometimes you can have faith in something, other people won't, and then you'll work on that song for another week or two, and then those same people will be like, oh, actually, you know what? I couldn't see the vision before, but...
If you believe in something, just do it, because you never know.
There are times where you maybe can't quite see the vision, and it might be those people that you ask that can help you find what it is. Exactly. You know, like, you had Irrelevant as a fully written song, but you were like, there's something about it. And I was like, I have a vision for this. Yeah. And we collaborated, and I'm so proud of that song. I love it.
It's the same, but so different as well. I found the original on my like old laptop and stuff with me singing the lyrics badly.
I have a very old Logic project called It's Pizza Time that you sent me, and it's the original demo of Irrelevant.
That sounds about right. If I don't know what to title something to send you, I'm pretty sure it's some kind of It's Pizza Time. obviously, with being a musician nowadays, it's not just playing music and writing music. You got to be, and it's pretty well known, and people talk about it all the time. You've got to be an influencer, and you've got to be a manager, and you've got to be an agent, and a booker, and a graphic designer. Luckily, we enjoy doing most of those things when it comes to like the graphic designing. And you studied business management, and was it business management or no?
Exactly what you're
No, not business management. You just studied music, but they taught you about the industry.
Yeah. They taught us about music industry.
That's what I
stuff
meant.
Like that in college.
Yeah. So it wasn't just when you were at school doing music, you didn't just learn how to write music and how to play guitar. It was, because I did something similar. I did music performance in context. So they were like, you've got to put on your own event. And this is how an agent might speak and all these kind of things. But we've had to be our own agent and our own manager and all those kind of things. But I wanted to talk about the social media grind and TikTok struggles, because...
There are struggles.
There are struggles because it's quite... I hope you don't mind me saying, but the TikTok and social media stuff is sometimes quite grinding.
Yeah.
And it can be quite a lot, especially when a couple of years ago, we were doing pretty good numbers on TikTok with some pop punk songs and some things that weren't related to our music, but were related to the genre that we were playing. And now views just aren't as good.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your mindset when it comes to social media and trying to do all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's undeniable that it is important these days. You know, any sort of music industry role within the past however many years is you're trying to get the attention of the media in some sort of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Sex Pistols, they acted really like outlandish and outrageous.
And had cool style.
Exactly, in a way that would get the attention of newspapers and, you know, the TV and stuff like that. It's the same thing. Like, media is an important role within music. But, you know, it's shifted now to this digital age of it, which is cool. It's
so anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it, but because anyone can do it, everyone is trying to do it.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you shouldn't see other bands and stuff as competition. That both of you can exist and have fans. They're probably going to be the same fans, you know.
Yeah.
But it's difficult in a world where there's God knows how many millions of videos posted to Instagram and TikTok every single day, not to get lost in the mix of that. You know, having to understand the way algorithms work.
Hitting the algorithm.
Exactly what hashtags to use and what keywords to be putting in your video so that the algorithm picks it up as being within that.
And what not to say, which is kind of, I want to touch on, a bit disheartening. Obviously, there's certain things that are said that obviously it's great that they're not shown. But when like certain things are hindered, because some of our music is political or talks about mental health and touches on like certain topics that could be hard for people, and the algorithm and certain things don't like as much.
Exactly. Like, you know, where I might have a song topic about like mental health, I can't say certain words to do with that because the algorithm's like, no. We don't want to be pushing that to anyone. And
that's not good for advertisers.
Yeah. I do understand that, but at the same time, that's what the song is. So if I have to change the caption to say unalive rather than dead or kill or something, these are things you need to take into account. And it just gets to a point with it where there's so many things you need to remember and do when creating content. You kind of forget that you're a musician and you're not just trying to make a video get popular. It's great if you can make a video get popular and it helps your career. It is something that's important and you should be trying to do as a musician these days.
Absolutely.
However disheartening it might be for some people, and it's exciting for some people.
Yeah, some people thrive in it and are just made for that sphere.
But, you know, I think you need to try to not let it control what you do with your music.
Yeah, creatively.
Because I know a few years ago, definitely in 2021, I was getting much better views on like online content.
Yeah, our followers were going up quite a lot.
Yeah, like steadily. But I started tailoring the music I was writing for that. You know, I'd write a song and go, oh, you know what? Pop punk's having a bit more of a resurgence, but you know, it's in this way that it's like with trap beats and stuff. Yeah. So I'd start trying to write songs like that. And, you know, not all of the songs were bad, but...
No, some of them definitely had potential and fit into that vibe perfectly.
I was definitely writing to try and hop on what was popular, what I'd seen other people getting views on, and definitely trying to write parts into songs that I was like, oh, this would be like a good part to hook
This
people
is
in.
TikTokable.
Yeah, exactly. And it did hinder my songwriting for a long while. I'm not saying they were all bad songs. There were definitely...
I mean, one of the ones that stuck from that era, granted it was nearer the end because it was 2022, was Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favourite songs to play live. And the only part that really came from that hip-hop, pop-punk era was the second verse, where it's more rappy. But
I've been doing that since early Teddy Bear stuff.
We take influence from hip-hop and other kind of... I mean, the nu metal. We both love nu metal and stuff like that.
Really liked rapping when I was a kid. Like, I remember being in year 5, year 6, and learning every single lyric to the rap into Terminate from Lemonade Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. And I learned Super Bass by Nicki Minaj. And, you know, it's things I liked doing. So I think why that one works is because it wasn't actually trying to target what's popular now, hip-hop meets pop-punk. It was... just me doing a bit of rappy stuff that I've kind of been doing for a while with guitars because that's what I like.
Exactly.
But, you know, it's difficult to not let things tailor what you're doing.
Yeah.
What you're doing. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because the numbers... The numbers, they influence us. But, I mean, you quite literally wrote a song about it. We wrote... It's Blisters. Blisters is about all that kind of stuff. And... it's hard because I remember when I lived in my flat at the time and you would be messaging me, dude, I'm refreshing and this video's going up 1,000 each refresh.
I still have screen recordings and screenshots from like my first few videos that started getting big numbers.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's a great feeling, but it's addictive. It is like a drug.
Yeah, like, it is. And, you know...
I'll tell you what, the come down is hard.
Yeah.
when those views stop coming in,
it's disheartening because you're thinking, oh, I'm still putting in the same effort.
Sometimes more,
and I'm not getting that back. But I think what we've come to a conclusion now is you've just got to make the best stuff you can, and we really do thrive on the people to people connection. People have the people that love our music the most are the people that have seen us live, just randomly and not seen us online. But that doesn't discredit that. Online is also very important.
Definitely. You know, so I wouldn't let it affect your writing. We learned that, you know what, we just need to make the best art that we can. I took a little bit of a hiatus from making music. We still played some gigs and stuff, but from actually writing for a little while. And I came back, and since I did that and stopped trying to focus on what would be popular and what's a good hook for TikTok, every single song I've written over the past year and a bit, I am more proud of than any song I've written previously.
Every single song I am more and more and more proud of. Yeah, it's great.
I just decided we need to try and make what is the best art that we can make. And if it's the best art we can make, hopefully and maybe someone out there will appreciate it for that.
Exactly.
It doesn't need to be targeting someone to like it.
Yeah.
It's maybe someone will like what I have made here. And if they do, it makes me feel a lot better. You know, if 10 people liked one that was designed for 10 people to like, cool.
Exactly.
But if I wrote one that I wrote for me to like, and 5 people like it, that's more valuable to me.
That is so much more rewarding because it's so funny because I sometimes go, because obviously we write music that we want to listen to. Like we listen to those kind of bands and that kind of music. But I do go, I really want to listen to something that's like, I don't know, our song For Love Till Death. Or what. I was like, oh, I can just listen I can just listen to my own music. It was like every single year on my Spotify Wrapped, both of the bands I'm in are in my top artist and in my top songs because why would I not listen to the music? I think it's...
You write songs that you want to listen to.
I think Matty Healy is always like, I always listen to my own music because why would I write music I don't like?
Yeah.
You know, granted he is a narcissist, but we love him. But yeah, moving on from that, from the start of Teddy Bear, visuals has been a really big thing for you. And we've gone through phases and we literally have stuff folded as like phase 1, phase 2, the red phase and all these kind of things. What does imagery mean for you, tailored with music? like side by side, and what are some really big influences for you when it comes to that visual aspect of music?
I think visuals are important with music. You know, it can be really difficult if you're a musician and you're someone that your passion is music and that's what you know and that's what you like, it can be quite difficult to go, fuck, what image matches this vibe that I've created sonically? Because you're focusing with your ears and then you've got to go, shit, what am I seeing?
And I just wear band t-shirts and baggy trousers.
But I definitely took a lot of influence from My Chemical Romance, you know, growing up and seeing them, each album, they're wearing different outfits that are all correlating, but not the exact same.
Different
haircuts and overall vibes. That was the first time I became fully obsessed with a band. Because the visuals drew me in as much as the music did. It was there was a whole world you could dive into and surround yourself with. Like each of your senses could be satisfied.
Yeah, and every single era was a concept. And
I've definitely been inspired by that a lot. So, you know, I'm no Drabway, I'm no My Chemical Romance by any means. But, you know, when we first started, I said, you know what, I'd like us all to be wearing some sort of like stripe or checkered on stage. So we're, you know, there's an element
black and white.
Yeah. There's an element of matchingness. There's an element of cohesiveness between us, but we don't have to be wearing the exact same outfit. And I always just thought that was cool because, you know, I'd think of My Chemical Romance and go 3 cheers, black suits, red tie, or, you know, black and red. That is
black and
vibe.
red. I mean, Frank wore like bulletproof vests and like stuff like that.
But then I think of Black Parade and I'm like, oh, I'm in this white ghost town in the snow. And
we're in like military style jackets.
It's very like faded and contrast. And like
you could think you're a drama kid name.
And I like having a world to dive into. And whilst, you know, I'm not at that point yet, I'd love to evolve to get there at some point where I can make a piece of art that someone can fully dive into the world of and just surround all of their senses with. Yeah,
we've always talked about like, we are both lovers of concept albums and world building and stuff, and we kind of do that a little bit at the moment because obviously with we've got other releases since then, but we released an EP called Red, and we still wear all red outfits on stage, but where you say like My Chem has each album that has the different vibe and different aesthetic, you've kind of done that with each of the latest release since Blisters.
Yeah.
Since Blisters, each song has an aesthetic. Why did you go different aesthetic for each song instead of not one over like arch? And there are themes.
It's just what I saw. Like what's it called where you see colours to do with things? I don't have that, you know, but I definitely see a colour to go with a vibe, you know. I'll feel a song and go, that song feels blue to me, you know.
That's a blue song.
And I tend to surround, like I was saying about surrounding senses, I surround myself with that. Typically, if I'm working on a song that is blue in my head, I'll make the lights in my room blue whilst I'm writing.
Got to have the RGB LED bloody fairy lights.
Whilst I'm writing and whilst I'm recording, I'll tend to surround my room in that colour and it helps me get in the mindset. There wasn't a specific reason for each thing having such a different look to it. It's just what I felt was the right vibe. And I tried to convey some form of the message within the song, within the artwork. It doesn't always have to be bang on. But, you know, Blisters is a song about, you know, it's almost a concept. It's me talking to a therapist one-on-one and talking about an anxiety surrounding the statistics and numbers
and all the social media
that's a very
stuff,
very surface level thing of it, but it's about me feeling very insecure within that thing, and the album art for it is me cuddling a teddy because I'm feeling so insecure and like holding into myself, and then
it's a bit blue. Is it blue?
It's got a blue
a blue blip though.
It's got a blue backdrop within it, and that was just the overall vibe that I felt it was. And when we got to Mouth Shut, it was definitely a song about anger and frustration of being belittled and being pushed down and having to like look into yourself and see how you really feel about that. So the album art is me looking into a mirror at myself, looking at a reflection, but everything's a bit hazy and a bit washed over.
That's my favourite one. I love that cover. It's so sick. It's so new metal vibes.
Thank you.
I'm surprised you kind of do have the hand, but the new metal hand.
But it's each album cover, albeit maybe sometimes on a surface level, reflects what some of the message of the song is. And for me, that's important. I want it to give off a similar energy. You know, I like things being in contrast, like how I spoke about Teddy Bear and the genre. But for me, with that My Chemical Romance influence, it's quite important to be able to look at something and go, that is how this song feels.
Yeah.
And, you know, it might not for other people, but it does for me. And realistically, I'm making music for me. I'd love for other people to enjoy it as well. And there are some people out there that do, and thank you. But I make it for myself. I have something that I feel I want to say. I have a sound that I would like to listen to. That's what I make.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's the most important. And also in a day and age, bringing back to that social media thing, where everything is so quick, and even, I mean, we're not to be hypocritical because we do that as well. You swipe and you're looking, you're swiping so quick. When you look at our stuff, and this is what I look for as well, you instantly get, oh, I like that because that's kind of the imagery I'm into. And also certain genres and certain vibes have a look, and you know, we write emo, alternative, rock music. So when you look at us with basically a similar trim with, you know, granted I don't have my nails painted currently, but the ring
mine are barely painted anymore.
But it all kind of correlates, and the imagery we do and the logos and the t-shirts we do, it all ties into that aesthetic, and you'll go, oh, that's what I'm interested. I like that look. I'd probably like the music. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool.
I'm also really fortunate that I've managed to surround myself with so many other artistic people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for the first set of photos I ever did for Teddy Bear, for album covers and promotional stuff, it was with one of our photographers, Harry Salter.
Oh yeah.
Big up Harry Salter. Again, met him through going to gigs. He was local and friends of friends. I went to
school with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he was able to help me put together some of the imagery that I had. We have our videographer and occasional photographer, Zero, and she's brilliant. Like, I always say that she works her best when she says, fuck it, I'm going to try this. Like,
when she stops caring.
Exactly. When the worry gets out of her mind. And all of these people really, really inspire me to make something that's cool, you know?
Yeah, because they think it's cool as well and want to add on and just elevate it.
And, you know, particularly my girlfriend is a photographer, and she kind of specializes in a style that is very similar to a lot of the vibes that we want to go down.
Which is very, very great coincidence.
Yeah. And of course I have you, and you help me with a lot of like the drawing aspects, because I can have ideas, but I can't draw for shit.
As I have a digital tablet.
So you've always been able to help me bring some of the stuff to light that I can't quite do just with photos and Photoshop. Like,
and a mouse.
Yeah, exactly. You've been able to help me with merch stuff. I've been like, oh, I know I'd like a bear that looked kind of like this, with the logo half covering here.
EP, when we made physical versions of that, I don't know if there's any available left.
What's that? Like to sell.
To sell?
No.
There's not. Oh, we're out!
I think we have one.
We might have one. Well, if it is left, it'll be on our big cartel. So if you want the last one, because we won't make any more. But yeah, we had the whole concept. I mean, we were going to have a design on it, but then I'm pretty sure I was like, dude, just make it fully red. Just the whole cover is red, and then we have stuff on the inside.
Exactly. But these are things that we think about. Like you were saying, like, what if it's just plain red, and you know, we have some stuff on the inside of it, but this is a limited drop. We got 50 of these CDs made. They're limited time. They are the only ones that will ever exist that are just the plain red cardboard packaging.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully at some point, if we get put into like major retailers like HMV or something.
Major retailers.
Like HMV or something, then it would be the same as the artwork that is on Spotify on a CD front. But these ones, we wanted to have that distinction. And, you know, hopefully at some point down the line, you guys will be able to look at that and go, wow, this is one of 50. Or go, wow, this is one of 50. I'm going to make so much money off of it.
and then I'm going to go, when we absolutely, like, we have 10 years and it's great, and then I spend all my money on flop and like I'm on my own, I can sell my one of 50 for $2,000. £2,000 is a push.
Yeah, that was
20 quid.
But yeah, it's always been important, and I can't quite describe what goes through my mind in making imagery, but I know it's something I've always planned. I have notebook drawings of the outfits that we all wear on stage that I did 4 years before we even decided that we were going to have the red theme. I have different outfits planned for when we're kind of done, when we're finished with this red era of stuff. I have ideas planned for myself. I don't for you guys yet, but maybe I will, or maybe you can give me some.
But the thing is, though, yeah, when you come with the imagery and stuff, especially with like the red era and stuff, I was like, I've always wanted to wear a jumpsuit because I loved Slipknot and like all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I would so wear a red jumpsuit. And then we talked about though, like, or maybe for other live outfits, I could wear like red suit or like other things. And so I really love all that imagery as well. So I'm looking forward to, I love what we wear. And granted, I sweat my absolute arse
Have
off.
you cut your vents in it?
I have not cut anything in that yet. I've been away for a month and it's been New Year's and Christmas. I've not done anything to that thing yet, but I do need to. But we're in the cold months in the UK.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just do it when we get to the summer.
Yeah.
So I don't need to spend the money.
It doesn't make a difference once you're in the venue, mate.
No, it doesn't. I'm just going to be warm anyway.
But yeah, I'm really fortunate that I've surrounded myself with a bunch of people that are also very creative, as particularly within the visual field of things.
Yeah.
I have good ideas. I have trouble bringing them to life, and I've managed to surround myself with people that are very good at helping me bring them to life, which is important. You know, when I first started Teddy Bear, like I said, it was very much a thing of the trend was that people were being solo musicians, and but you know, I knew I wanted a band live, and at the beginning, I was very much like, I want to be in charge of everything. You know, I've been in a band for a while and that's nice, it's fun, but I want to be able to write a song and that's the song we're doing. It's my choice on the title. It's my choice to what we do, blah, 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 blah. And if you let that ego go a little bit and let people collaborate with you and help bring your ideas to life and give you other suggestions and stuff, it sparks new ideas within you and it helps you just be a better version of what you could have been.
Spirals in a good way.
Exactly.
Good spiral.
Like, all the people that we work with, like on the Teddy Bear team, I really couldn't do what I do without the help of everyone. I make a good effort at it.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for me, it's quite nice, especially when we started, that you did do all that stuff because I was in another band and I had other life stuff going on. So you doing that was very beneficial. And to give you credit, you do it well.
Thank you.
But don't get me wrong, I fully ego check you, so it's all good.
I need it.
Don't worry, we all do. That's the only thing with being a musician. Just as long as you have someone to ego check you, you'll be good.
Let's take that into account as well. Like, if you want to be a musician, you need an ego.
Yes,
like,
you need to just give it all.
Like, are you wanting to be a musician, or are you wanting to be a famous musician?
Or a performer.
Yeah, because you need an ego. Like, I'm not being funny. You need to go, I want to feel like the shit on this stage right now.
Who are the biggest artists? They come out and go, we're gonna, what's that Robbie Williams thing? For the next 2 hours, your ass is mine! And the thing is, though, I know America don't give a fuck about him, but he is one of the biggest people in Europe and the UK, and has probably sold out Nebworth like 3 dates in a row.
And he's got a massive ego.
Massive ego.
But
granted,
he'll be the first person to say that, though.
Exactly.
Same as like Matty Healy or these other massive artists. They know they have an ego, and you kind of need it to be performing like this.
Even if they don't have an ego personal life, they've got an onstage
alter ego.
An alter ego, yeah, exactly. Another thing I wanted to touch on is some big opportunities that you've had and we've had, and that's supporting some pretty decent artists.
Yeah, we've had a few cool opportunities recently.
Hopefully as well, if you are watching this and not just listening to it, the camera angle should relatively be the same, but we just realised that it stopped recording, so we're back at it now. But yeah, some of these big opportunities, obviously, we've most recently been able to support a guy called Lou.
Yes.
Who we are very thankful to call a friend now.
Lou's brilliant.
And his fans are absolutely incredible.
He has the most welcoming fan base.
Yeah.
Like, we've supported him twice now, and both times they have just welcomed us and encouraged us and showed up, and they're the best.
Like, we said, like, we played a sold out, which was awesome, 300 capacity venue.
The O2 Academy, Islington.
Yeah, O2 Academy, Islington with him. And I was saying that the crowd, yes, there was only 300 people, which is still an awesome amount of people, but it felt like performing to Wembley.
Honestly, like they were so loud and so energetic, and just almost everyone showed up for the support, which is like quite rare these days, so it was really nice.
Exactly. Like from the get-go, everyone was jumping, even if they didn't know the words, singing along, and lots of them had learnt the words,
which was really cool.
Which was so sweet, really lovely, and people very kindly bought merch, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But another one I wanted to touch on, which was our first big opportunity, was supporting Wargasm, and I wanted to speak about how we got that opportunity, which was basically being annoying and just badgering the shit out of them.
Okay,
well, not Wargasm specifically, but the venue.
No, yeah. Please don't
don't harass people.
Yeah,
but also it worked.
Okay, so I mean, do you want me to tell them?
Yeah, you go.
So it was announced that Wargasm were going to be doing a short run of small venue shows in the UK. Yeah. It was either in the middle of or just off of the back of a quite big tour they'd done.
I believe maybe supporting Limp Bizkit.
I think it was after Limp Bizkit. I could look into it, but I'm not going to.
Here's the poster.
Yeah, and they put a post on their story saying, what small venues should we play? And we're quite fortunate that we and our friend group and quite a lot of other people locally said the Forum and Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah.
Which is sick. You know, lots of big bands have played there before.
It's a very iconic small venue.
Yeah, considering it's like the only one between Brighton and London, pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, they announced that they were going to be playing there. And we noticed on the poster that there wasn't a support act.
Yeah.
And we thought, we know this venue. We've both played this venue many times.
Yeah. They seem to have liked us when we played.
Exactly. So I think what happened was I commented on the post and said, hey, I'd love to support this. Or
it'd be really cool to support this.
Yeah, something along these lines.
If you're looking for a support.
Looking for a local support, you know, because, yeah. And then I put it on my story saying, would love to support this, would be really cool, or something along those lines. And everyone we know decided, yeah, let's help them out with this.
Let's just flood the comments. Like 100. Everyone was liking every comment. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was like 100 comments, all just variations of, oh my God, Teddy Bear should support this. Teddy Bear would be great for this
So
show.
cool if Teddy Bear I'd come to the show if Teddy Bear was playing.
And everyone was liking each other's comments. It's honestly probably one of the first times I really felt like we had like a little bit of our own audience, because so many people just flooded that comment section.
Even some people that we didn't really know, which is cool. Normally, when you're a small band and artist, it's friends and family.
Yeah, and I got a DM from the Forum, the venue, and they said, hey, they already have a support act. Could you please stop getting people to flood the comments?
Please leave us alone.
And I was like, oh, no, I didn't mean to, like...
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Really sorry.
Let us play.
Yes, didn't mean to cause any... Oh, sorry, I got something in my eye.
That's all right. Oh, sorry.
Is it hair?
It was a bit of fluff.
Oh. I think I'm good. Sorry, we didn't...
I'm keeping this in. That's funny, dude.
Put bloopers at the end.
Yeah, I will.
Sorry, we didn't mean to cause any trouble. Have a good day. Hope the show goes well. We'll be there whether we're supporting or not.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a week or 2 weeks or, some time passed afterwards, the show was getting closer. And then the venue DM'd me and was like, check your emails.
Check your emails. I've slid into the DMs.
And they'd asked us to come and support. So I'm not sure if it was... the guys at Wargasm that saw that, or the venue decided, yeah, we could have an opening act, or I'm not sure how it quite went down, but they asked us to support.
Which was sick.
We got the opportunity. Don't harass artists, bands, or venues.
We were very lucky that everyone involved was super, super nice.
Yeah, everyone was really nice.
We kind of had a connection to the area. But also, you don't ask if you don't get. And it is
You don't get if you don't ask.
You don't... Yeah, exactly. And you... And, it is good to message artists and message venues and see what's going on and see if you are able to get these kind of opportunities, because you only get further with making connections and good connections.
Exactly.
Being polite.
Yeah, being polite
Even
and being
if you are in a rock band.
Yeah. It's not rock and roll to be a dickhead. I mean, I'm not here to say what's punk and what's rock and whatever. I'm not that guy. I'm saying this behind me. Like, I'm not that guy to say that, but like, don't be a dickhead. It doesn't make anyone like you. Don't harass your local venues and artists. However, it did work. So
yeah, and the opportunity was really, really great. We got to speak to the guys backstage, and they really liked our My Chemical Romance cover.
Yeah, they did.
Because obviously our stuff was a lot lighter. This is when we were doing pop punk, and our heaviest song was Irrelevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
they gave us some great advice backstage.
They were shattered from
They
that
were so tired, bless them.
But yeah, they were super lovely.
Yeah, they were lovely people, and they gave us some good advice. I won't dive into it, but they were great. And it was one of the first times it was like, maybe this could work. And
everyone was singing along to a part of our song, which we put in a sing along section.
Yeah,
and there's a clip, I think it's on TikTok, of me really surprised going, "You sound bloody beautiful!"
Bloody beautiful!
Like, I went really British.
Bloody beautiful, man!
Absolutely bloody beautiful! Which was so funny. But there is a takeaway from that. There's two takeaways actually from that gig, which I love. Not to do with the gig at all, but there was a guy who says my favourite quote that we've used on promotional stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he very, very kindly bought one of our T-shirts supporting local artists and local venues. And he got us to sign the T-shirt, and then he got Sam Matlock
from WARGASM
to sign the T-shirt as well. And what did he say? He said...
he turned to us and was like, "Is it all right if I sign your guys' first?"
Yeah, sign the T-shirt, dude.
Do it. Yeah,
do it. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, do it.
And then when the guy was buying the T-shirt, he said to us, he went, I don't like pop punk guys, but you guys were all right. And we were like, yes, perfect. That's what we wanted.
Exactly what we needed. But that was a great opportunity.
So cool.
And then after that, we had the first opportunity to support LOU.
Which was through kind of like a competition.
Yeah, almost. You know what? This kind of loops back around to the TikTok conversation of saying, like, don't ignore it. It is media and it is important in this day and age.
That's how we got the LOU gig.
Don't be too obsessed with it. That's how we got one of the opportunities to support an artist that we really like, that has a bigger following than we do. And it was beneficial for us and it was beneficial for him. It was a cool opportunity that we wouldn't have got if it wasn't for TikTok and social media. He said, "I'm looking for artists to support me." I made a video saying this is why I think I should be a support.
Very good video.
Thank you very much.
Those Premiere Pro editing skills came in clutch.
What can I say? And you weren't there for that first show, actually.
No, I was in Japan.
So we had our good friend Kai Ross Best.
Big up Kai.
Only
person I'd let replace him.
Yeah, we had him fill in for Sam on that show. And then, O2 Academy Islington in
we got
London.
asked back, which was super lovely. And I got to experience a LOU night out, which was great. His whole crew and his whole band are so unbelievably lovely. So just give a massive shout out to him as well.
Yeah, big shout out to the LOU crew.
All right, well, we've been going for, I think, about an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
So just to round some bits off and so I can make some nice TikTok clips, speaking about the social media grind, I have just a few little fun bits to end off. I have a game at the end, but I wanted to ask you at the moment, who is your favourite artist? They could be any size, and also who is a small artist that you want to shout out? Because the whole point of why I want to do this podcast and do all this is to give smaller artists a voice. I'm not necessarily worried about how big this is going to get. I just want people to be able to share their stories in the music industry. So yeah, big artist, little artist who you want to shout out.
I think probably my favourite band at the moment is Bring Me the Horizon.
What? No way. I didn't see that coming at all.
At the moment, I find they're doing stuff that other people aren't. And, consistently for the last 10 years, most people in the rock scene have just been like 2 years behind them.
Yeah,
not
that
they're behind, but Bring Me are just that little step ahead of most people. And I just love what they're doing. The amalgamation of like techie electronic sound with their like older, heavier sound. And I just love what they're doing as a big band.
Always evolving, always changing. It's always interesting, even if because I mean, in their most recent project, some of the songs I had to warm to. As
Yeah.
you loved it from the get-go, and I really enjoyed it and appreciated it. But I don't know, it just surprised me. But in the past, however long it's been out, it's just like so grown on me, and I've gone, wow, it's just great.
And then I'm going to give a little second answer as well. I really love Hot Milk.
Yeah.
Hot Milk are a sick band. Hot Milk, if you ever see this, please let me support you.
Yeah,
Please.
don't get anyone else.
please. Like, we won't harass you. But but please give us the opportunity to support. I've been listening to you guys since I started college and started making music myself.
You're the reason I know who they are, and we went to go see them at O2 Academy Islington.
Oh, yeah.
In the downstairs in the bigger area, and it was a sick gig, apart from a dude behind us.
That one guy.
Don't worry, we elbowed him, but like, he was just being a dick, but absolutely incredible show.
Great gig, great band. You should really check them out if
Yeah.
you haven't heard of them yet. What was the second?
A smaller artist, or I mean, if you want to give a few smaller artists a shout out, keep it, but like if there's any that you just love and wanted to give a bit of praise to.
At the moment,
There's so
Anthony
many.
Franco. Anthony Franco's been doing bits of music at the moment. I met him, it was either last year or the year before at a gig that I went to, and he was one of the supporting bands.
Yeah.
And he'd seen me online and stuff before. We had a good conversation, and he's just a legend. And the music he's been putting out over 2024,
So
so
consistent.
good. Yeah, like it's just
So good.
banger after banger, even when the genre is different. Banger.
Yeah.
Like Stream Sad by Anthony Franco, because that song is so fucking good.
It is. You were like, dude, you got to listen to this tune.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, this is awesome.
Also over the past year, Hell Hotel.
Oh yeah. Their stuff has been good. You saw
Yeah.
them as well at the forum?
Yes, I saw them at the forum in
Yeah.
Tunbridge Wells, supporting Kid Brunswick.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're awesome. They've been putting out consistent bangers, and they've been getting a lot of recognition for it over the
Rightfully
past year, and
so.
like good for them. And Teddy Bear. I think Teddy Bear's this really sick artist that's like breaking genre boundaries.
No way.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
know.
people call him the emo wonder kid.
Yeah, I have heard such things. I have also heard some other guys say he's like the crux of future alternative.
You suck. He did say that though.
He did say that,
though.
Yeah, me.
This is where that ego check I talked about coming. No, but yeah.
Link in description.
No, great shout outs. Very, very deserving as well.
Yeah.
Very deserving as well. All right. To end off our first episode, my first episode of In the Pit with Misfit, I have two questions for you. First one is, I meant to ask this at the beginning,
Okay.
but I just got so excited about how we met.
I'm excited. What can I say?
So the first one is, at a show,
Yeah.
are you a mosh pit, crowd surf, wall of death? What are you, just stand at the back, sing along? What is your go-to when you're at a gig?
I like a good mosh pit.
Yeah.
You know,
You are a pit enforcer.
yeah, I do start those pits. I used to, you know what, it's dialed down a bit these days. I'm getting older. I feel it the next day now. when I was 17 at a gig, I could be trampled in a mosh pit and walk fine the next day.
Yeah.
And now my back hurts. Yeah, bit too heavy to crowd surf, really. No, you know
Used
what?
to be
know
a
what?
big crowd surfer.
I used to be a big crowd surfer, but like, let's think about it, everybody, right? I know, like, we've all got, things that we like and dislike about ourselves and like the way our body is. I am self-aware. I know I am too heavy to crowd surf.
And
also,
wear too heavy a boot.
yeah, and I wear New Rock platform boots. They are heavy fucking shoes. And the amount of times I'm at a gig and some very large, bald, sweaty men crowd surfing over, getting kicked in the head with some sort of New Rock or Doc Martin, and also none of us can carry you. Like, be mindful when you crowd surf, and also think of the type of audience you're with.
Yeah, because if you're at a hardcore show and you're all expecting it, and the atmosphere there is fucking sick, but when you are at like a Bring Me the Horizon gig,
it's a very mixed crowd
It's a
of
massively-
ages and genders, and there's
everything. Yeah, exactly. But I've only crowd surfed a few times because I am always cautious. I'm just gonna kick some poor girl in the head because I've just seen it happen and the bloody nose afterwards.
I'm not saying don't crowd surf. Please crowd surf.
Crowd surf for our gigs. Hell
But,
yeah,
like,
dude.
yeah. But, be mindful of how you are. I'm a mosh pit guy overall. You know what I don't like? I don't like? When a band or an artist does the thing, they're like, I need everybody to crouch down, I need everybody to get down low, and then they just make you stand up afterwards. Like, what was that? Like, there's supposed to be a hype and then like an explosion. I get you, like, bringing us down to bring it all back up. It only looks good to you as a band or an artist, right? From a crowd point of view, my knees hurt. My knees hurt and my back hurts, right? There's also not space to crouch down.
Because now my arse is in someone's face.
Exactly. We have a standing amount of space, which, like that, you know, in the crowd, you're like sardines all packed in, and then everyone wants to crouch, and I've got someone's bum like folding into my lap, and my bum's folding into someone else's.
Yeah, where's that though? Where's that though?
There's not enough space to do it. I can't crouch down all the way because I can't stand up that quickly either.
Maybe this is just a creaky knee problem.
No, bands, artists, stop doing it. I can't promise I will never do it, but stop doing it because I hate it.
I was like, just put in there in case in a clip in 2 years' time where we're everybody get on the floor and get ready to jump.
I need everyone's crouched down.
And if you are going to do it, because I think it has worked before, and when I say has worked, I mean Slipknot doing it. But if you are going to do it, just let it be maximum 10 seconds down. I've seen people that haven't timed it well, and you're crouched for a whole bridge, and you're like, and then all of the atmosphere just dies.
Yeah,
but
people start standing up, and
everyone's like, okay, my back hurts now.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you're a mosh pit kind of.
I'm a mosh pit. Keep it simple, keep it fun.
And even when you're on stage, mosh pits are always sick. And you're like, mosh pits, it's the reinforcement of, oh, this is going off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just that people are enjoying the vibe so much, they just want to like run and push and jump. Like, it is just like the primal instinct of, oh.
Exactly. All right, well, I want to play a game. Last thing, I'm going to probably do this with everyone I get on. So, I want you to design your... Design! Welcome to Grand Designs. I want to design your... Design your dream band, but you've got to be in it. Okay. So, it's a...
How many members?
5-piece band, but you're only thinking of 4 more members, because you've got to be in it. You can decide what you're doing, but you need a full band.
Oh, this is difficult.
And you can get weird with it. Like, you want to be some Gorillaz ass band, have Wallace and Gromit as your lead singer.
This is difficult.
Because what are you going to do?
Exactly. Like, you know, I want to do my normal role of being like frontman and singing, but at the same time, I've got Gerard Way or Ollie Sykes to put in the mix. So
this is true. I will let you pick eras as well if you want to.
Ooh,
like, throw those eras about.
Making it more difficult.
Now get weird with it. You can keep it simple. If I'm not in it, I'm going to be very sad.
I'm gonna. This might be controversial, but Travis Barker on the drums.
Okay.
Like, he's an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
Maybe not leaning into like all types of music. He does have his thing, but he's sick.
Yeah, you can't deny he is a phenomenal drummer.
Exactly. I think Travis Barker on drums has also just got that energy.
Yeah.
Like, I think performance energy is quite a big thing for me. It was a big reason why I picked you a Max.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is a performer and he hits the shit out of his drums.
Travis Barker on drums. See, I'm not going to say you.
No, that's fine. I understand.
Oh, that's actually really difficult.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna...
Are you sticking to stereotypical, like, 2 guitars and a bass player?
Nah. I think what I have to do for, like, I don't know what to call it, like production, electronics, let's call it. I'm going to get Jordan Fish.
Yeah.
And everything that man touches turns to gold. Like, it's sad he left Bring Me, but...
Architect stuff, Poppy.
He's been working with Fever 333, hasn't he?
I think so.
Everything that man touches has just been phenomenal this year.
It's incredible.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to get him in for, like, productions and electronic.
Hitting shit.
Yeah. Back-in vocals.
Yeah, his back-in vocals are great.
Okay, so I've got 3 more people. Oh, 2 more people,
including
2 more
people, including you. Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. At this point, can I be like cameraman and just film them doing it?
You want to be cameraman?
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to have as a guitarist Frank Iero.
Oh, you're going with Frank?
It was a debate between Ray and Frank.
Yeah.
I think Ray is technically better, but I think because of his...
As in, like, technicality.
Yeah.
Not technically better.
Yeah.
As in, like...
Yeah, better as a technical player.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, he's quite locked in the way he writes stuff. And I find Frank writes well on top of other people's work.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he works well coming into a project and going, here's how I could improve that with a guitar.
And he's an incredible performer.
Yeah, another great performer,
Yeah, and I wouldn't even stick him to an era. Even now, he's sick. I love the stuff with LS Dunes, and obviously we got to see him playing in My Chem in their reunion stuff.
That was sick.
He's still a great performer.
Then...
So you have one more person to pick, and what are you doing? Because it sounds like you're singing, dude.
I could be a bassist.
You did play bass in your old band and sing.
I did. Didn't really enjoy it, though.
But you could play bass and sing and get another guitar player.
It's so tough, man. You're making this so difficult. I think I'm gonna get... Fuck, no, I don't know. I actually don't know.
So let's recap. We've got Travis Barker on the skins.
On the skins.
We've got Jordan Fish on the synth and production and backing vocals, whatever. We've got Frank on guitar.
I need a bassist and a singer.
We need a bassist and a singer.
I think because I like being the main character, I'm gonna be the singer here.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be the singer.
Also, you can't with those people behind you. That's an opportunity you can't toss up.
Yeah. I think I can't take Gerard or Ollie. They need to be the leaders of what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I think the other people I've picked work well in a group.
And stuff that you would like to take from each of their specialties.
Exactly. As much as I'd love to have either of those as vocalists in my band, I think they need to be leading what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I want to
so considerate.
Yeah, I know I want to be leading this.
Yeah.
So one more person, and realistically should be a bassist. Doesn't have to be. Bass could be coming from the electronics from Jordan.
True.
Our bass comes from a track.
You can do whatever you want. This is your band, dude. Do you want an interpretive dancer?
Okay, I'm gonna pick another guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This is quite a rogue choice. I'm gonna pick Tom Fletcher from McFly as a guitarist, but he can also write. Man can write.
That's the most rogue, but you pick. We love McFly, obviously. Like, incredible band, and he's a great songwriter. But that, in the mix of Travis Barker, Jordan Fish, Frank Iero, and you, and then just nerdy Tom. I love him.
No, I'm going specifically like late... like kind of early 2010s era Tom Fletcher with like the bleached blonde quiff and like the thick glasses frames, you know?
The Tumblr core.
The like kind of muck-busted era. Yeah. Man can just write a song. Yeah. Man can really write a song. And he's someone that knows how to complement a song well.
Absolutely.
He can write a song.
And he's a very good guitar player.
Yeah, he's a very good guitar player, but like he doesn't need to be the main attraction. No. He knows what to put together in a song. And I think as much as I can be front man and lead in this group, he'll be my number two in that situation.
Can also do backing vocals.
Yeah, very well.
You've got 3-piece harmony right there. You, Jordan Fish, and Tom Fletcher.
That's a weird amalgamation of voices. It might work.
It might work. Well, I would love to see that. I'm not going to ask you what you're going to be called. Because I have no idea.
So the list we've got Travis Barker on the skins. We've got Jordan Fish doing production and electronic shit. We have Frank Iero on guitar. We've got Tom Fletcher on guitar and going to be helping me with songwriting. And then I'm going to be the front man to fulfill my ego and dreams.
Absolutely. And if you really needed to, you could play a bit of live bass.
Yeah, if we need.
Or if Jordan could probably play bass.
I can play it on a keyboard.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
Nice. Well, I would say that's a great answer. Some of those I expected, but Tom Fletcher coming in last minute makes so much sense, but I didn't see it. But yeah, no.
I don't know what we're called. It took me long enough to come up with Teddy Bear. So
if you've made it this far and watched this far, or are seeing this as a clip on TikTok, what do you think this band would be called? Leave it in the comments. I can't wait to see what that is going to be. Well, thank you so much, mate.
No worries.
Do you want to try and actually not high five fist bump this time?
Take my spikes off.
Thank you for joining me on my first episode of this.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully get you on again soon. I mean, we live 10 minutes apart, so if I need to fill a gap, I'm sure I'll just whack you on.
If this goes well, just bring me back. I'm a recurring guest star.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching and listening. This has been In the Pit with Misfit, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.